Thank you, Greg. Good morning, Nate.
Morning.
Looks like even up calls by officials are in the spotlight today. One was caught on the microphone acknowledging he was looking to make a call against Nashville, and I'm just wondering how common is it? I don't expect you to comment on that situation, but how common is that in your experience? And would you prefer if the game was called the same all the time?
I mean, I don't think it's a very common thing that you see very often. I think that I think the officials have a tough job. It's a thankless job, right? And they're always in a pretty tough position. I think you see games when there's been a lot of penalties called, and there's games where they just let us play. And I think it just kind of depends on the official. I think Tim made a mistake. Obviously, shouldn't have said that. But at the same time, I think everyone makes mistakes. Do I think he should have lost his job over it? I don't think so. But that's the league's call, and it's unfortunate. But at the same time, there's no place for that in the game.
We'll go next to Mitch Clinton from Jets TV. Go ahead, Mitch.
Hi, Nate. Just curious, you guys allowed 22 shots on goal on Monday against Vancouver. Obviously, a couple posts in there, but ultimately, what did you feel that the team did well defensively that you would like to see kind of carried over into tonight?
Well, I think it was in all three zones. I mean, I think the way we track back on their forwards, track back on they have D that like to jump up in the play, and I think we kind of disrupted them in the neutral zone. And then I think even in the D zone, I think we were, keeping to the outside, not giving them second and third chances. And whenever you can do that, they're not going to get a lot of shots, and you're going to limit, pretty good scoring chances. And at the same time, Bucky was really good for us.
We'll go next to Josh Clipperton from the Canadian Press. Go ahead, Josh.
Nate, just going back to the reffing thing, we talk about the rule book and standards and everything. And I'm just wondering, do players want the game called the same way in game 1 of the season as game 7 of a Stanley Cup final, for example? Or do you guys like the management, the refs with the feel of the game? I don't think anybody would ever want 10 penalties on one side or 10 penalties on the other, or 10 penalties for both teams. How do the players feel about it?
It's a good question. I think if you look at every sport, we're probably the only sport that really, I think where games are managed. Like I said, though, it's a tough job to be an official. Those guys are in a tough spot. But I think, I think that's the biggest thing every player wants. I think we just want consistency, no matter what it is. If it's, if you're calling penalties consistently, or if you're letting guys play, I think that's what guys want. They don't want it to change from game to game. I think you just want consistency night in and night out.
We'll go next to Carter Brooks from Game On. Go ahead, Carter.
Hey, Nate, sticking with the same common theme here. You've been in the league for 13 plus seasons. I'm sure you've had some conversations with Mr. Peel. You've taken face-off after face-off. Can you tell me what you know about Tim and I guess your relationship at this point?
He's been around a long time. He's one of the veteran officials, and I think he was a good official. And I think, Tim just made a mistake, and it's unfortunate because, it's good to have those veteran officials that have been around. I think for myself, for a lot of guys, some of those guys have been around, or, you can have conversations with them, throughout the game, talk to them, kind of feel them out. If it's a play that they saw and you disagree with, you can talk about it with those guys. So, like I said, it's unfortunate that it happened, and I'm sure Tim knows he made a mistake, but like I said, it's a tough situation.
We'll go next to Kelly Moore from CJOB. Go ahead, Kelly.
And Nate, because of the uniqueness of this schedule, I don't know what it's quite like in the 3 U.S. divisions, if they maybe have a larger pool of referees that are moving around. But you guys are probably seeing more of each other when I talk about you guys, the teams and the officials, than you ever have before. Have you noticed any kind of a difference that way, when you're starting to see a referee for the 6th or 7th and the linesman for the 10th or 11th time in a season?
Yeah, I guess it is a little bit different. There's a lot more familiarity, I think, especially for me with the linesmen. I know I've said hi to the guys, a few times, being like, yeah, been a long time. I haven't seen you in a while, and I just saw them 3 games in a row. But, it's the time we're in. I don't think it's been a big change for anybody. I think it's just, guys are going about their business. They're doing their job. We're doing ours.
And final question to Sean Reynolds from Sportsnet. Go ahead, Sean.
Thanks, Gregor. Hey, Nate. Do you think there's an art to reffing as it is? Because I mean, you're saying you want consistency. I totally get that. But in a game, if a ref makes a mistake, calls a penalty that he kind of regrets, aren't you as a player expecting a makeup call to try and erase maybe an error that's made earlier in the game, or do you think that kind of sentiment should be removed from the game entirely?
I mean, I don't know. I'm not one to comment on how to officiate, because like I said, I think that's a super hard job they have, and a thankless job at that. And I don't know. I mean, that's a tough call, because I think that you see that in games a lot where, maybe they missed one and they make up for another. But like I said, I guess that's part of the consistency of the game, and the consistency of officiating. If they're going to call penalties, then call them. If not, let us play. I mean, that's kind of my take on it.